Hello, captains. It's me, TONIK TZW, here in the original Tier 7 Mines CE, which stands for Collector's Edition. It's the original version of the Mines and not the Timu version of the Mines, which Wargaming was selling everybody at a later date. This video is called 15 Minutes of Fail. And I'm going to apologize because there's probably a spoiler alert in the title there. But just look at this game. There are 10 destroyers in a tier 7 game, two cruisers one cruiser and two battleships. And I'm just thinking right from the outset that I am going to be absolutely shafted. It's going to be torpedo a go-go in this one. I initially think of turning out and pushing down the flank, but then the better part of me decides that actually destroyer players in World of Warships Legends are mostly complete trash. There are exceptions to that rule, of course, me on my good days, and a few other players that I know that are also very good at destroyers. The majority are mediocre at best, and then there are the ones which couldn't torpedo a battleship static broadside from 2 kilometers away, and also the ones that don't have any idea on how to use guns on a destroyer. Now, our destroyer here, he can use his guns, but he's also going to make one of the classical mistakes that destroyers do, and you'll know exactly what I mean when you see it happen. But I'll call it out. We have a name for it, and it's going to be an absolute classic. Now the Fletcher gets himself spotted there, and I'm just looking 3.5, 9.5, 6 kilometers for a Fletcher to get spotted. And look, he opens up with his guns and then immediately pops his smoke screen. And a smoke screen this early in the game when everybody's got torpedoes loaded just means one thing. There's torpedoes going to be heading for that smoke screen. Now, there's the Fletcher. My sonar's running. I don't know who had him spotted there. And I'm thinking I need to get around this destroyer. Wait, no, he's moving forwards again. The Fletcher looks like he's rolling a smoke. It's me that's going to be taking the hit here. But there we go. The destroyer moves forward out of a smoke. I'm going to have to stay bow in to these torpedoes, and I'm hoping that I'm going to miss them all. I can't actually remember if I missed them all. Yes, I do. And there is the Fletcher. I'm going to continue to push that guy. This destroyer should be going all guns on this Fletcher and absolutely wrecking him. And I'm aware that I've got a cruiser out there on the flank as well. One eye on the minimap. This Fletcher does not stand a chance. That is, of course, if RNG was to give me a chance to hit him properly. First blood, he's out of the game. Red team also get a first blood, and I think I turned at just the right time there to avoid getting myself dev struck from this Amagi. We're going to take some shots from the cruiser from behind, but while he's spotted, I was going to say, while he's spotted, come on, there are still 4 destroyers in this game. Surely one of you must be able to keep the giant battleship spotted on the map. Now, our cruiser there, yes, he was almost a dope in a smoke, but we've got the cap. I'm going to go dark from the cruiser behind me. I think he is going to try and get one more salvo in. There we go. Tickles a few more hit points off me. Um, but the destroyer is going to end up chasing that cruiser out there. And you'd think with 5 destroyers per team that at least one of them would be able to kill something, but just look around at how many are low health. This guy's practically dead. The Amagi takes a hit. I don't know if I can get through that gap on the islands there, but there is a Zeton. There is a Split as well. He's taken a bit of a battering, but our guns can't get clear here. We're going to try a long shot as we lose a Kagero. There were literally 3 destroyers here on this cap. One is going towards it, one is running away, and none of them put a shot on that split. But I'm on the Kagero. That's a cap reset, and I was just thinking I'm probably on the limit of range of his torpedoes, but somehow he is going to get spotted. There is another cap reset. He is burning. Come on, guns, do me a favor and just drop those bloody shots on his head. There we go. Now I'm feeling better about myself until I see all the Amagi's guns looking to the rear. There are torpedoes heading towards him. I managed to get a shot out there. We are going to get a fire, and we're going to keep moving away from this guy because I'm looking at the minimap and looking at my range ring and knowing that I can still get a good number of volleys on this guy before he eventually disappears out of range. So we're just keeping the pressure on there. But oh, look, all the guys that like the cheap kills are chirping in to see if they can snipe it out from under my nose. Well, guess what? This one, gentlemen, is also going to be mine, which means that out of the 3 ships that have been killed by Red Team, I've killed all 3 of them. We have lost 3 ships, and nobody else has been able to account for anything yet. Now, at the moment, I'm thinking, okay, we have got 2 caps secure. We still have a battleship. The Zetin is pushing in. There's still a carrier out there. I'm wondering what our carrier is doing all the way at the back of the map, given that this is a high tier game and the back of the map, parked against the border, is where a tier 3 absolute noob, I don't have a clue how to fly my planes carrier player, generally puts their ship. But it's good to see that at least he has somehow figured out how to use the minimap to get his aircraft carrier away from danger. I'm only on 30,000 damage. I've got 3 kills, but okay, 2 of it was destroyers. One of them I pummeled, one of them I finished off, and that Amagi just ticked out with the fires to go. But there we go. This split takes out our Kagero. Now, if I was that destroyer on Bravo Cap, I would come away from it. I'd go round the back and about where the carrier's torpedo planes are now, and I would try and get behind Red Team. But he seems to be hungry for the kill. I've decided to come away and try and take care of this Megami because our carrier is heading in this direction and I don't want him to get taken out by the Megami. And again, I am within torpedo range of this Megami. I know he's actually broadside too, and I'm done with fire and HE, and I probably should have switched to armor Pearson sooner, but we are going to slam the brakes on because being within torpedo range and the fact that he stayed broadside for so long means that there are torpedoes on their way. And look, once again, this dumb AWS destroyer is trying to chip in and steal the kills. You know, why do you need to come all the way across here? There's nothing here for you. I'm taking care of business and I can take care of business, and your place would be on the capture points, either attacking ones that we don't hold or defending ones that Red Team are pushing into now while you sail in the wrong direction across the map. And look, there's the torpedoes. Lucky I started running my sonar, wasn't it? What I shouldn't have done is hit the damage control so quickly, just in case one of those torpedoes landed with a flood. But we get very, very lucky there because we were a few hundred meters within range. Now we've got the Zeton, and the main goes, or the mind goes to the Zeton has limited damage controls. So what we need to do with this guy is to get as many fires on him as we can. He's then going to be left with the option of either letting it tick, or he is going to have to damage control, and that will end very quickly. But there we go. We have a battleship in a smokescreen and we can't see a damn thing. We have ACAP being turned beside our battleship, our last remaining battleship, um, because the destroyer is so far away from the cap. For whatever reason, he wanted to chase the Megami. and he's taken himself out of the game, away from the action, and he's let red team just pull the advantage on this one. The other guy who went steaming towards the Zeton, he died as well. And as I said, some of the destroyer player here was just absolutely shocking and abysmal. And if anything, it contributed to the loss of this game. But this is where I lose my focus because I know that the Zeton has damage control. But what I should have been doing is shooting at that Kagero. And here we go. We're going to keep wailing on this guy, thinking this is the Kraken kill. But no, our battleship decides that he wants to put a full salvo at that guy. We pick up a Confederate on 95k, high caliber Confederate and First Blood. But are we done yet? I'm not actually sure. Let's just pause here and zip forward a little bit because we are, or should we zip forward, or should we talk through? Should we think about what's gone wrong in this game? Um, yeah, let's put it this way. There goes our last battleship. It is me versus a carrier and two destroyers. And yeah, we will pause it. We'll fast forward it a little bit and go blip, 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 like on an old VHS, and we'll get towards the end of the game. So bear with me. So we do manage to get back into B cap, even though we had to avoid all the torpedoes from the Kagero. We've been dodging torpedoes from the carrier and Skippy bombs from the carrier. It's a very, very disappointing defeat, but look at that. We did have a double credit booster running to give us an extra 20% credits, but we made over 900,000 credits. And the kicker is when you see the base XP scores, because we're at the top of the board there with over 2,300 base XP. That would have been a 3,500 game in victory. And I mean, even without the 50% bonus, we would have finished second for Red Team, and they all had a 50% bonus. So this one is going to go on the Spud Run playlist because unfortunately, it's one of those games where we try as hard as we can. Um, we can't do anything to bring victory, and there was a lesson to be learned. Shoot the damn Kagero. Don't forget, guys, smash that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of that one. And as always, until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.